Hmm. Hello, everybody in my audience. How is everybody? Peace and love to you over there and over here and over here. Um, who you gonna call? Coon Busters. This is Dr. Randy Short, and I am trying to have a conversation with Brother Dwann Brown, who's in California. He likes using Skype, but he always has problems typically using Skype with me for whatever reason. So I can't hear him. Okay. And so that's why I was being silent. But this kind of gets ridiculous because folks are expecting to hear. And hi, Brother Marty. And hi to Five is Fires Hot, Jamie, Mims, again, Jamie Bradley, Diggs, Markel, DeAndre, and everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Uh, they're going to have to do something. Let me just say to you, these are very busy times. So I may as well talk to y'all while I can. I want everybody to know that, which would like to move this? Oh, I can move this this way. Move the camera that way. And turn it. No, move it over slightly. And I can put this. No, okay. Hey y'all. Now look, it's on this week. It's on this week. Okay. And he just sent me another invite. So forgive me for this. They're doing stuff to technically mess with people, just so you'll know. Just so you'll know. The people that are doing this stuff, they're all having problems with phones and everything. This is going to pick up. I had a conversation with somebody, and it was kind of deep. Oh, good. I have everything. Join as guests. Let me see if I can sign in. Devin, how you doing? Peace and love to you, Oliver White. Um, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Okay, now Dwann is back on. I still can't hear him. Um, he's gonna have to give up this Skype thing because it's not working. It ain't working. You know that Skype doesn't work with me, Dwann. It doesn't work. They don't let that happen. you need you need to give up the ghost. Hold on, let me send him a chat. Um, hold on one second. My message to him is Skype always is effed. You can hear. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. I don't know what's going on. And I've got my microphone on. I'm not hiding anything. There should be no problem. So it's it's on your end to me. My stuff is hooked up. I can't hear you. So I don't know what to do about this. MFM, everybody. I'm sorry about this delay here. And wow, I didn't think Skype was a great idea. I had all kinds of problems finding the Skype on my computer. It was acting stupid, which is why I was delayed, Dwann. Um, do you have another option? Because, Skype, you, me, it often is problematic. And I'm trying to think maybe I have to call you on Skype, but I have to figure out where my Skype is. I couldn't find it. I've never not been able to find Skype on my computer before. Uh, Let me see if I have Skype somewhere else on my computer. This is so ridiculous. I don't like Skype like that. Not it. Me important. Mhm. Mhm. Do I need to download the damn Skype? I don't know. I may not have the latest Skype. This is almost over. Link is expired. Okay, I can't do that. Hmm. So I don't know. I can't help, dude. Okay. So the one, um, what we do because this is not working on my end. I can't do the lip reading. I mean, I can do some. Uh, yeah, I know you. I can. I'm seeing your messages, but the audio, the audio, and it's not telling me there's any problem with audio. Mm, what about your mic? What about your thing there? Hmm. Hey, August, uh, MFM, everybody, we gonna get there. Come on. Hmm. He's ended. This is the second one. There's one thing about me and technology, y'all. As I have you hold, please pardon me for this delay. It's not me. My shit works. Um. Okay. My message to him was, why digging heels when this isn't working? Hmm. Excuse me. I'm almost over sinus infection. If y'all didn't see me for a couple of days, I thought I would kick off first week of February. However, um, I got like an incredible allergic reaction, sinus infection. No, I didn't have COVID, SARS, or any of that stuff. Now, here's the one calling me. Hold on 1 second, guys. Some of y'all hear this. Mr. Brown. Hey, I sent the new invite. Okay, and if that doesn't work, can we switch? Because okay. All right, I'll try it again. Okay. Man, I hate this technology some days. It's very annoying. Now, if this doesn't work, then they need to do something easier. So please pardon me. All my stuff is working. And let's see, I'm going to just join this. I don't give a damn. This is so stupid. We should have had this. Hold on. No, 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 no. It did this. No, 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 no. Join this guest. There. Now let's see if this goes. They even sent me a picture. I can see that he can see me. uh, when you do this regularly, things happen like your Wi-Fi and other stuff. Okay, let me see. Hmm. Oops, something went wrong. Hold on, I want y'all to see this. You see that? Oops, something went wrong. I told him to leave the damn Skype alone. I want you to see it. Leave the Skype alone. Do something else. Um, Pride comes before the fall, it says in the scriptures. Come on. This isn't gonna work. Okay. So as I said, why dig in your heels? Everybody, everybody, everybody. Um, you need to know some things. And I want to do this in the context of a show. Please pardon me when people want to do. I was telling them, don't do this. Do it differently. Let's work in a different way. That way it will work. You know what I'm saying? I have so much to share with y'all. I've continued to get books and other things. I mean, I'm slightly behind on buying some equipment. I had been basically helping other people who've been going through crises. Even now, I've got to figure out my phone storage. I've got a new iPhone coming. I have an iPhone someone gave me. If y'all got an old iPhone or two, I need two. I want to get rid of these Androids. I'm sick of them. And the cameras aren't as good, you name it. And again, I want to thank one of the generous people that's helped me. That's uh, the iPad. This is on the iPad over here where there's 17 people viewing. Someone got it for me. I told them it's not like I'm going to use it that much. I just want to broadcast on it. I have a iPhone that that same person gave me. I've got one that I set up a new account, so it should come. And everything is going to be a lot tighter and better looking very shortly. Um, I also have Brother Kulik who's going to be working with me. So sometimes I'll just be doing podcast. There's a lot of stuff going on. I want to just say to you, if I can't get Brother's technology to work in the next few minutes, I'm going to say let's abort because I'm not opposed to. I understand people have problems. And by the way, I see that Mr. Stephen Lee sent me a blessing. Thank you. I literally use what people send me to do this. I need to get um, my podcast on. I can't wait for that to happen. Um, I can't wait. Hold on one second. I'll put my microphone back on. I can't wait to hook up my my this website. I'm gonna create my own. I'm tired of waiting, and people are okay, right, and I'll have to do it. Sometimes you just have to do stuff yourself. I'm not a tech person, but I can learn. Um, and I'm going to say this to everybody: all the social media is super, super, super politicized. I know you can tell. If you're trying to reach me on Facebook, you're going to have to wait 30 days. I put up a post because some stupid ass pork chop feminist made a comment about Trump and Libya. And Trump Trump is flawed. Trump has a lot of repulsive dimensions to his character. I mean, that's just fact. Does a lot of oafish, idiotic things, but still, he's better than this freak Biden that we got. You'll see. And every day with Biden is sweeter than the day before. Okay? I'm just going to say that to you. Let me just say to you that Obama destroyed Libya. Hillary Clinton, Susan Rice, Joe Biden, John Lewis, they destroyed Libya. You can hate Donald Trump, you could talk about him being a racist, all this stuff, but Donald Trump didn't start the fiasco in Libya. Any of you who don't believe me, any of you that are like really like ignorant type black people that don't read or follow the news, you can go in and Google, and Obama admits himself his greatest policy disaster was his destruction of Libya. And so this dumbass Chucks and Pearls, pork chop feminist jackass is up here posting on my wall about Trump and Libya. And I get it. You're so glad Trump is gone. You hate Trump, this, that, and the other, until you're going to make this man responsible for the crime of your first black Lord and Savior President, Barack Hussein Obama. It's complete BS. Obama and Hillary and them all knew if they took down Gaddafi, that it would cause slavery, the enslavement and human trafficking and sex trafficking of black people. Obama and Biden and Hillary did this. They did it. And they did it with malice and forethought. Whether you like Gaddafi or like anything, they did this. And black people in Libya have been exterminated in the tens of thousands with funding and money and weaponry paid for by Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Susan Rice, and Joe Biden. And you can't put that on Donald Trump. Donald Trump wasn't in politics in 2011. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, John Lewis, Clyburn, all these people were in politics then. So let's, get your lies straight. If you're going to say something, tell the truth. Now, I guess uh, I'm not. I guess Dwann will call me back. So, Coon Busters, let's just do what we do. I want to say to you, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who last year and this year joined this channel. According to YouTube, 3,070 people have subscribed to this channel. And in addition to that, there's another 1,500 or more people that watch the channel that will not subscribe. So be it. And I want to say to everyone that watches this channel, because I was supposed to be kept off um, February, March, and April, because I posted an old video I did back in April last year of me taking hydroxychloroquine. And I just want to say to y'all, I was in Kansas City back in January. The heat, The air quality and the heat and the dirt in the air gave me a major sinus infection. I had a major allergic reaction, and my sinuses are crazy. So they'll drip for months off of a cigarette. Somebody's around me. So I had like massive postnasal drip, and I had all kinds of crazy symptoms because the infection was so bad. I just want to tell y'all, I had fevers, chills, sweats. I took hydroxychloroquine and 4 black elderberry supplement pills. It knocked the cold off in 2 hours. I don't care what they told you about hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin. Y'all need to look these things up for yourself. I want to say to you again, uh, I hope that Cicely Tyson and Mary Wilson didn't get vaccinated. While I'm talking to y'all, 45 years ago today, Florence Ballard, the founding member of the greatest American vocal group, the Supremes, died. She was 32 years old. Florence Ballard was the victim of a rape. It hurt her personality. It contributed to some of the things that happened to her. But uh, I just want to talk a little bit about Black achievement. I feel like getting my book. Y'all mind if I get a book? I'm going to get a book. Hold on one second. I'm going to get a book. Give me all of 1 minute. I'm going to get this book, and I just want to show y'all my book and talk to y'all a little bit. And by the way, uh, I might do it. I want to do a tribute. I absolutely love the Supremes. Hold on. This. Wow. Okay. How is everybody? I'm back. I got this book. Um, it's one of maybe the third book written. Um, Man, I got to talk to y'all. So much is going on, but I'm going to just catch up personally and then we get into other things. Is that all right with y'all? Okay. And you know what I'm going to do? Since I can't get this brother back on here, I'm going to do something really crazy. I'm going to go ahead and do this inside my own computer. This is fun. Let me just do this. And by the way, y'all, hook me up. I do need to get some new stuff. I do. I need to get some new stuff. I need to get me some new stuff. I absolutely do. And I'm going to just put this. So I'm going to be on 1, 2, 3, and pretty soon I'm going to be on 4 screens. End it. Okay, I want to go back. Turn the dashboard. create a broadcast. I'm going to put this out again. I'm just going to put it up there. So now I'm going to be on multiple screens. Here we go, unmute. And so thanks for bearing with me. And I'm going to start all over again and just remind everybody today, "45 years ago today, Florence Ballard, at the age of 32, died. She was the founder of the group called the Supremes. A lot of people don't, a lot in particular younger black people and a lot of other folks don't recognize don't recognize the significance of Motown, and in particular, some of what happened. So I just want to share. First and foremost, I had a lifelong love for black women that can sing. My mother's a singer. Okay, so good looking black women that can sing, right? Black women that can sing appeal to me greatly. I love it. I sing a little bit myself, come from a musical family. I can't communicate to any of you that is, say, under the age of 45. A lot of you under the age of 45 have no idea how invisible black people used to be in America. Really. When you see black people everywhere in movies, it's that. I'm 56. I turned 56 February 9th of this month. I turned 56. And I was sick, by the way, on February 9th. I was so sick. And in fact, this is all connected. When I came back from Nashville on the 7th of February this year, when I got to the door of my house, I lost all energy. I could barely get in the house, barely get my bags in. I left my bags upstairs. I came in and got in the bed, and I was in the bed for, in fact, I, whatever made me sick, and I think it's a combination of antibiotics that I took for my second abscess operation I had last year. I wasn't hungry for a week, so I didn't eat for an entire 6 days. I didn't eat anything, and I love food. I'm a fried chicken eating Negro. I love hamburgers. In fact, my face is a little thinner because I just haven't been eating as much. When I came back, I was so exhausted. I'm just going to tell you that for me, if I get super tired, somebody that I care about is sick and or dying, usually dying. I thought I was exhausted from the sinuses and the sinus infection and this, that, and the other. On February 9th, the night, I didn't even eat birthday cake. I couldn't even get out of bed. February 10th, when I wake up, I I wasn't even on my phone. I didn't even go live or anything. I look and I see in the news Mary Wilson of the Supremes died. And I cried. I Let me tell you, I used to have hard-ons for Mary Wilson when I was a kid. I loved her. I liked me some Diana Ross and Donna Summer and Natalie Cole. I like all the ladies that can sing, all of them. Aretha, except for if they get big. So if they're in shape, and the Supremes were all in shape. In fact, I grabbed my book. You should get this. This is the last book written by Mary Wilson. Um, this is on my headboards. This book is on my headboard of my bed. Okay, that's how much I love the Supremes. I was saying early in this conversation, black people were invisible in America except for crime, except for maybe Dr. King getting assassinated. I can tell you what it's like in America in the 60s, and I'm not that old, to be in school and the highway patrol policemen come to visit the school I attended. And someone asked a question about Martin Luther King in front of the whole school assembly. It's a predominantly white school. And this man said, in front of everybody, they killed that damn communist, and everybody cheered. Everybody, most people cheered. That's 1969. it's, it's for some of y'all that you millennials and other people, you could actually say, and he wanted to say they killed that communist nigger. I think he didn't say that, but he did say communist. Everybody cheered and clapped, even the teachers. That's 1969. You have to understand the biggest group in America that were the Supremes. They broke up that year. What I want to say to you about black music and black culture, in particular with reference to Motown, literally, and my predominantly white school, people would have fights with black students when black artists would have big records. If the when the people would fight in school over the Jackson Five, they'd want to fight someone black. When Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record in 1972, I can recall fights in school, fights. White kids coming to school to beat up black kids because Hank Aaron was out of line. I'm giving you this context because I live just outside of DC. I lived out in the country in Fairfax County. The accomplishment of Florence Ballard and Mary Wilson, and they added Diana Ross, was three black girls in the hood who wanted to be great. They wanted to be ladies. They wanted to be the top. And whether you like Diana Ross or not, whether you like Florence Ballard or Mary or Jean Terrell or whatever, these black women changed the world. I can say in the same small town outside of DC where people can celebrate Dr. King being killed. In the stores, the same racist white stores where they'd follow you around, these sisters made such an impact that the mannequins that had the clothes on, the little statues in the store that the white women wanted to wear, the mannequins were in the form of the Supremes. Get that in your head. Racist folks who didn't even want black shopping had such a love and fascination with these three beautiful black women that they wanted their clothes to fit on them like they fit on the Supremes. The Supremes represented femininity, style, class, beauty, rhythm, here and now. Think about that and compare it to what we've got right now with Lizzo and Nicki Minaj and all the other sorry ass. It's a pathetic, disgusting images of black women. Florence Ballard, Mary Wilson, and Diana Ross, and other people, another group, um, literally as teenagers in the ghetto, envisioned that they were going to make an impact on the world. One of the first things that they did is that they went to Windsor, Canada, which is right across the Detroit River from the city of Detroit. And they won an international rock concert festival. They beat everybody. These 4 or 5 girls from the very get-go, they were different. I mean, literally, not beating in Detroit, but going over into Canada and racist Windsor and beating. Okay. And that's like in the 50s. Sit down and think about a group of black teenagers under the age of 16 going into another country and winning an international contest, which means those girls could sing and dance. Uh, what I want to say going further, the Supremes. I don't have an album I used to. I lost the storage unit many years ago. I had Where Did I Love Go? A lot of people who are in my generation remember Michael Jackson's Thriller. Well, the Thriller for our parents' generation, as quietly as it's kept, there are actually a couple. There are three. There are two. One album is Where Did Our Love Go? So what I want to say to you is 56 years ago, actually 57 years ago this September, this group of ladies, with one, I actually knew the fourth Supreme. She died a lot the year before last. Her name was Barbara Martin. By the way, Barbara Martin was married to my adopted uncle, George McGregor. George McGregor was the greatest percussionist of the last 100 years, played on more hit records than any living percussionist. It's a fact. Barbara Martin. She quit the Supremes in 63, if I'm correct. What I want to say to you is this album, because these ladies, they started recording in either 1960 or 1959. They recorded for 5 years before they got a hit. They were on Motown from 1960 to 1964 for about 3, 4 years, no hits. Barry Gordy, Smokey Robinson, known hit writers. Barry Gordy had written hits for Jackie Wilson, Marv Johnson, and others. Smokey Robinson for the Miracles, for Mary Wells, for the Marvelettes. This group finally got their hit record in September, October 1964. Where Did Our Love Go? Subsequently, which is a number one record. Hold on just 1 second, guys. I have to take this call. Yes. How are you, good bishop?
I'm very well. And yourself?
Yes. Did you get your notification?
Which notification
From you know who in Florida.
in Florida?
You
No.
haven't heard. You haven't heard from them at all.
Well, I got a text message that he's working on it, that he would do this today.
Okay, so he
Yeah.
did reach out. Well, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't lying to you.
No, I didn't think that.
I know you didn't think that, but I'm saying it out loud so you'll know. I really am working. So what do we do about the octogenarian?
Okay. The elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I need her for, we just need a few minutes.
I know. Can you have someone other than yourself tell them that they need to do this in 48 hours? It has to get done.
Well, I see. First of all, I do hear you, but for me to go to one of the producers and say,
No. I don't want you to do a producer. You can have a buddy do it. Just have somebody other than you and other than me.
well, here's the thing, and I do hear you. Here's the thing.
Or
She's
can
she's already a two-headed monster. First of all,
mm-hmm.
and I don't want to increase this element. See, I personally would just put a pin in it.
Right. Okay.
And
let's work with Florida.
Well, I don't want to cancel it out because it's too big.
No. I know. Okay, fine. Well, just tell me what you need me to do, and I will do it.
All right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to send an email and I'll address her and I'll CC you in it.
Mm-hmm.
And either she's going to get in line,
mm-hmm.
or we're going to put it on the back burner for now.
Right.
And I'll just tell her that because it's too much time that's spent. And I hear what you're saying.
I'm with you 100%. I was feeling this way last week. So do what you have to do, and I can't wait for Florida to come through.
Oh, excellent. I'm excited about that. Now, did you speak? I know you have to go. Did you speak to him about giving the simple notice that we need
for the book?
No, for the media.
I haven't spoken to him about the meet today. I'll call him. I have called, but I didn't reach him.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
But I can. It's really. I will work it. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. All right, and I'll be in touch.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Love and peace. Okay.
All right,
thank you. Bye bye. That was my book publisher. I have my book. I've got a foreword. The foreword is being done by a special, famous guest that's writing the foreword to the book, and that's what she's calling about. We got to get this out soon. So, by the way, thank you everybody for your welcomes, and forgive me for the interruption. And you got to do what you got to do. And what I was talking about in code, I'll give you a little bit. I am trying, in association with my dear friend who's a content provider for several big media groups, is to get 2 documentaries series done. One we hope will be on Black diva singers. As I said, I love me Black women singers. All of them. All of you sisters that can sing. I mean, now back to Mary and Florence and Diana. Nobody. Motown in 1963 was a hit factory. The Supremes had small hits, as you all know, but they couldn't break out. This Where Did I Love Go is the equivalent of Thriller, Because if you were living in 1983, if you go back and you check Billboard, there was an attack on black music in America. Everything black was called disco. People were literally coming and burning records made by black people in stadiums in America. And so for several years, you didn't see black artists get the kind of love that they were getting in the 70s and the early 80s. I'm just telling you. When Thriller came along, it smashed open and knocked down this racist trend in the music business to marginalize black artists. There's always this cycle in the music business. I'm just telling you. Thriller opened the door for Billy Ocean, for Lionel Richie, for everybody else that were being held down. Like the first, Lionel Richie wasn't doing great at first. I mean, he did okay, but his first album didn't go to number one. Some of his songs that were really good were top five, but they weren't number one. His second album that he did after Thriller, he had lots of number one records. When the Supremes cut Where Did Our Love Go, it went to number one in about 6 weeks. After that, they released Baby Love in September of 1964. Okay. Another number one record for a month in the United States, and more importantly, I'm not more importantly, and in addition in England, but what I want to tell you is Where Did Our Love Go? Okay. With Florence, Mary, and Diana was number one in America, number one on the R&B charts, number one in Canada, number one in New Zealand. Their first hit record, and it was a hit record all over the world. We're talking about a mass fascination with a specific group of black performers. In fact, if I open up and start looking, Where Did Our Love Go was a hit in Singapore, Japan, the Philippines, Germany, Netherlands, Ireland. This before Thriller, before there was a Thriller, before you had this big, I mean, you had these women, these sisters that broke through at a point where there was Beatlemania and the British invasion, where the American music industry had systematically decided to replace black artists with British singing black people's music. The group, the group that defended the honor of black music and black people getting placement and attention on par with foreigners, the Supremes. So, Where Did Our Love Go goes to number one. Baby Love comes out. It goes number one pop, number one R&B, number one in England, number one in New Zealand, number one in Singapore, right? Number three in Canada, but still a big hit. And they had hits all over the world. What I'm saying to is the internationalization. So this hip hop that goes all over the world, they're not the first to do it. The hip hop artists, the people that have hits in other countries, these ladies, one of which, Mary Wilson, just died, opened the door for all the black folks in the arts and music. Everyone, everybody benefited that's in the arts and perform off of these sisters. Everybody. So you get Baby Love. It's a hit. It goes to number one. And by the way, sells over 2 million records in the United States. Where Did Our Love Go also sells well. The, they released another song, Come See About Me. It's also a number one record and hits all over. I think it's number one in Canada. It's an international smash. It's 3 million selling records in a row. The first time any popular music album has produced multiple number one records. They were the first Motown group to have 2 number one records. They're the first girl group to have 3 number one records. They're the first group that was having international hits on an independently black owned label worldwide. Then they released the Where Did Our Love Go album that came out 64 in January of 1965. Were it not for the biased reporting in the media, the Supremes' Where Did Our Love Go album should have ranked number one for a month in January, but they didn't do it. They put the Beatles' 1965. The reason I'm saying this to you is that you talk about records selling, the Supremes album sold 4 million copies. And what I want to say to you is that if you see the Where Did I Love Go album, you've got um, 3 black women, good looking black women, faces on an LP. What I want to tell some of you that are younger, you used to not put black people's faces on stuff. People wouldn't put, they would put flowers or trees or just the name, because a lot of people wouldn't buy or sell albums with black people's likeness on it. These ladies were so fine, people bought them anyway. One of the biggest crimes in rock and roll music history is that the Supremes' Where Did Our Love Go album was the fourth best selling album of 1965. Yet they would never acknowledge that it went to number one in sales, right? There were like 10 number one albums in 1965, right? If they're about, well, if not 10, about 7 or 8, because the Mary Poppins, the Beat of Brass, the Beatles had two. There are multiple albums that went to number one in 1964, right? 65, I'm sorry. But if you had at least 7 or 8 or 9 albums go to number one and the Supremes were the fourth best selling, how come they didn't get to number one? So I will tell anybody, the first number one album that Motown produced was uh, Little Stevie Wonder, 12-Year-Old Genius. Whether people want to admit it or not, the Supremes album Where Did I Love Go was a number one album. Okay. And what I want to continue to say to you is they released several albums between 64 and 65. Several of them went gold and or platinum. This used to not happen for black artists. So they released a one with British music on it called The Taste of Liverpool. It got to number 20 and sold maybe 800,000 copies. They did a Sam Cooke album tribute that sold about 400,000 copies. That's good. They did one that was really terrible. It sold like 300,000 copies. They did a Christmas album that sold 1 million. When, by the way, because Barry Gordy never submitted the sales records to a group called the Recording Association of America, RIAA. I don't know what they're doing with their books, whether they were cheating the artist or lying about the sales, whatever. They never submitted this. So a lot of your Motown acts, when they talk about the best-selling groups and the most influential groups, the people like the Temptations don't get the love or the credit for having made a major impact, sales, sound, everything. This is just a fact. For example, you can go and look into the RIAA and you can see that the Temptations songs like My Girl, Just My Imagination, these single records are still selling in the millions years after the thing was on the chart. If Just My Imagination can sell 1 million after, years after the song was a hit, you mean to tell me it only sold 1 million when it was most popular? Are you kidding me? I want to say to you that the Supremes did every single solitary major television show. The Supremes broke open uh, nightclubs by triumphing at the Copacabana. By the way, their Copacabana album went platinum, their live album. By the way, you'll hear this if you read R&B history. They'll say, "Well, Motown, they were just singles at first." No, that's a lie. The Supremes were an album group. The Supremes had, let me see, Where Did Our Love Go? Uh, the Supremes at the Copacabana. Uh, More hits by the Supremes. I Hear Symphony. Supremes A Go Go, which was definitely a #1 album. Okay. The Supremes sing Holland Does Your Holland. That's 6 top 10 albums. 6. And by the way, 2 of those 6 #1s. According to US Record World, 3 of their other records were in the top 5. You hear about Beatlemania and the Beatles, the Beatles, the Beatles. At the diminution of these fine ass black women who dressed good, who looked good, who danced good, that sang good, and literally had 5 #1 records in a row. Nobody had this record until Whitney Houston came along, who had 7. On top of that, their greatest hits album came out. It was a double LP. It sold a minimum of 5 million copies. #1 in the United States, #1 in Britain, 5 million in the US. Let me translate that. Because it's a double album, it counts as selling 2, which means 10 million LPs were sold in just 1 year, 1967, for the Supremes. By the way, Where Did Our Love Go? Stayed on the Hot 200, the Billboard charts, for 90 weeks. You know that 52 weeks in the year. So that means if it came in January or sometime late 1964, that means it was on the charts in 64, 65, 66. Their greatest hits album was on the charts for also about 80, 90 weeks. It's major. This doesn't happen. They're not people except for the biggest of stars. So I just want to take a few minutes to say to you that um, the Houston Astrodome, the first people to perform at the Houston Astrodome were the Supremes. The Supremes were so popular that they were playing the Supremes music to our astronauts in space. Black women, beautiful, accomplished, intelligent, presentable, open doors, dignified, and made it possible. And we need to rediscover um, the allure and the regality and the regalness of black womanhood when it is feminine and not masculine and not grinding and doing all that. If you ever look at the Supremes, they're poised, all their clothes always nice. There's not a black woman over the age of 50 that wasn't influenced in how they dress and how they carry themselves off of this good conduct. Mary Wilson dying so close to Florence Ballard's death brings me to something that I'll be talking to y'all about. I've got to see how it works. I I had been trying to get in touch with Mary Wilson for like a year, maybe two, with no success. I finally caught up with her on Twitter in December of last year. I learned early in January that Florence Ballard, who died today 45 years ago, had no tombstone. And I was really sad because I was thinking, let me just emphasize this. The Supremes had 13 number one records in the United States, including a duet with the Temptations. The Supremes had four, five, or six number one albums, depending on whose research data you want to look at. The Supremes were responsible for Motown becoming the most important and most lucrative black business in the world at that time. Uh, the Supremes helped launch, uh, let's be honest, the Jackson Five indirectly, but the same transfer. I mean, so you like Michael Jackson as a direct line. It's true that Bobby, forgive me, the Vancouvers, forgive me for forgetting, Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers found Michael Jackson. Gladys Knight and them found Michael Jackson. But the one person that they gave credit for that could break the Jackson Five internationally is to link them with Diana Ross of the Supremes, Michael Jackson. Don't worship Michael Jackson, but some great music, some great music, some great music. But the Supremes had maybe, depending on how you count it, as many as, say, 18 of their records, single records, sold at least 1 million copies. Several of their albums, I would say at least, let me see, Love Child, at least 9 to 10 of their albums were gold or platinum, if not more. Actually, more than that, because they had some anthology and so forth. They're one of the biggest selling groups ever. Tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars were raised off of Florence Ballard's, Mary Wilson's, and Diana Ross's dream. And Florence Ballard doesn't have a tombstone. That's wrong, people. That's absolutely wrong. It's wrong for us to have situations wherein our elders or people that did great things, whether they died young or old, don't have a gravestone. This is terrible, right? So I wrote Mary Wilson via Twitter and asked her thoughts on doing something for Florence's gravestone. It's about 3 or 4 weeks to the day that she died. That's shocking. We can treat each other better. We can do stuff. I don't know what's going on with the family. I know Detroit's a trip. I know sometimes people in Detroit can be a trip. Um, it's very, very, very sad. And, I was just thinking, I'm going to do a show with Brother Ron. I'm going to talk about this again. But we need to honor Florence Ballard and Mary Wilson, and we need to honor all of our, surviving queen diva singers. They should be loved and honored. We shouldn't throw people under the bus, right? I have spoken to some artists in Detroit, and I'm going to sit down and think if there is a way that I can get some people to do something to get an effort to put a gravestone on top of the body of Florence Ballard. That's the least that someone can do. Um, she wasn't protected from rape in life. A lot of our sisters are not safe brothers. They're not protected, and in death, no gravestone. What a stab in the back. What a stab in the chest. Now, so I might, if I can get some people, I've got to figure out how. If I can get someone to get me in touch with that family, I'm hoping I can help spearhead something because this really, the tombstone made me cry. When Mary Wilson died, I cried for like a day and a half. She was beautiful. She's a good-looking, polished black woman. She was fine. I remember there was an event here less than a mile and a half from my home, and it was at B. Smith's, it used to be a black-owned restaurant, and they wanted $100 to go in to meet Mary Wilson, and I had her first book, My Life as a Dream Girl, because as I said, I love my divas. I love black women that are talented, feminine, nice clothes, 3 Degrees, the the Chantels. I like all of them. I like In Vogue. I like all of them, and it's something to feel proud of to see the beauty and creativity of your women. Okay, um, and I did not have the $100. I still regret over 20 years later, 30 years later, not having $100 to go in to see Mary Wilson. I still feel bad, but I can do something for Flo. And so that's the one thing. That's the sentimentality. I was a little depressed. Um, excuse me. Ooh, I absolutely want all you sisters out there to know that when you are beautiful and you carry yourself in a refined and regal, queenly way, you have no idea what that does for men to just see you. You have no idea how proud one would feel of Aretha or Diana or Minnie Riperton or any of these. Just the 3 degrees, oh my God. Just them being black, beautiful, feminine, creative, and then being songbirds. Frida Payne, Melba Moore, Dionne Warwick. Uh, these black divas did so much to transform the image because I'm just going to say to you, black women were whores and maids primarily in the representations that I would see when I was young. I'm not that old. So my parents had it worse. The irony is that Diana, let me hold this up. Diana, Florence, and Mary had a dream of elevating black womanhood. And a wonderful woman, Maxine Powell, that trained and helped groom all the women that came through Motown. It's amazing now how folks ugly themselves up, this gorilla glue, all of this. These girls, Mary Wilson's mother couldn't read. Her father died when she was young. These working class black women wanted to be all of that. And they reached for it and they got it. It's sad that now the women want to be dudes or they're pork chop feminists. They have jacked up attitudes. Their hair looks bad. Got ugly eyelashes, behinds hanging out, not wearing drawers. Do you understand that this is social engineering of the racist? And that a lot of you sisters and a lot of you simp ass black men are being socially engineered to be metrosexual, confused. And one of the reasons that they don't hold up and celebrate this is because black people were aspiring for something. Maybe they want to cross over to be white, and I'm not for trying to be something that I'm not. But I do respect the aspiration to be more than, to not be common, to not be run down or trashy. And they've got us now on this thing of keeping it real. Keeping it real means black is dirty, black is nasty, black is this. And it's interesting how we now perpetuate racial stereotypes in the name of black authenticity. Says who the hell that black is dirty, that black doesn't aspire, that black isn't smart? Man, I'm just I compare the performances of the Temptations or the Four Tops or the Spinners or any of these groups, the OJs, to these young men and the new generations, you Xers, you millennials, you Generation Z, y'all suck. Y'all don't. You can't sing. You can't dance. You. I don't know what the hell you're doing. And so it may be old or corny for me to like. Whenever you're near, I hear a symphony. At least it's pretty. At least it's saying something nice. It's talking about love. And that's all these people want to sing about. Love. They want to be someone. This is who we once were. When you start looking around and seeing how demoralized and defeated our people have been, y'all need to rediscover Stax, Motown, Atlantic. Okay? Now, I'm going to say this and I'm going to stop because I've been talking to y'all. I just want to put out here for you that this week, sometime this week, the pedophile amnesty bill, aka the Gay Equality Act, will be voted on in Congress. Every single solitary member of the Congressional Black Circus is going to vote to basically transfer rights and protections that have never fully been applied to black people, to pedophiles, to gays, to people who have sex with the dead, to people who have sex with animals, to people who mutilate themselves and call themselves trans men or trans women. Just because you get your vagina twisted into a snapping turtle-like penis doesn't make you a man, ladies. And getting your penis hacked off and getting a fake vagina that hurts to be penetrated doesn't make you a man. I'm sorry, a woman. The entire black leadership in this country is betraying you this week as I speak to you. The National Congress of Black Churches, with that particularly despicable, morbidly obese monstrosity, Reverend Barbecue, aka Bishop Mantitty, or Reverend William Barber. I'm talking about your bloated ass here. Reverend Sharpton, who looks like a tropical fish that needs to get, pulled out the bowl. All of what you know, Jesse Jackass supports it, the Urban Greed supports it, the National Association for the Advancement of Coon People supports it. Every single solitary entity in this country that you think is black that's working for you, that's inclusive of the Boule, that's inclusive of Prince Hall Masons, are supporting white, rich gays getting immunities, privileges, and protection that was never extended for black people who've died in the thousands and, in fact, in the millions over the years. This is happening right now, and all you Chucks and Pearls niggas, all of you that voted for Biden, it is true that Trump is a pain in the ass. It's a fact. But Trump put blacks ahead of the illegals and others. Biden has put them ahead of us. Biden has committed, he's already done all of these executive orders for brokebacks and nothing specifically for black people. Not a damn thing. It is a crime. And we're disgraced before our ancestors and before our God that we supported this deviant pervert who raped his own daughter. Read her diary. It's out there. His son is a predator, pedophile. Y'all got a pedophile monster racist. The greatest. And Joe Biden is the equivalent of Adolf Hitler to us. He's put millions of black people behind bars. And second to him is Kamala Harris, Imhoff, married to a Jew who looks suspect to me. I said it. She looks suspect. I think she's bi. I believe it. Stacey Abrams is she's a butch. They got all these traitor, broke back black people. Lied to y'all. We're not gonna get nothing out of Biden. Trump, it was token, but he was doing token. You know what? If you're trying to get on the bus, you don't have $1. If someone gives you a token, it'll get you where you're going. A person wouldn't give you the dollar or the token, your ass has to walk. We're going to have to walk for 4 years. For 4 years. And I want to talk about that real fast. You need to look up the Gay Equality Act. They're not even talking about it much. They're going to pass it. All of you people out here, in particular, if you're a weak ass churchgoer, he's cussing. Yes, I'm cussing. I should cuss. You should be cussed out. Fuck you. Y'all have sat on your asses. The reason that all this deviant stuff is happening is because coon churches like the National Congress of Black Churches, if you're a black Baptist, if you're a black Methodist, if you're a black anything, If your church is connected with either the Leadership Conference for Civil Rights or the National Congress of Black Churches, you support pedophilia legalization. You know whose children gonna get raped? Ours. You know who's gonna be sexually trafficked? By the way, Biden's already repealing the stuff that Trump put in to fight against human trafficking and to fight pedophiles. Y'all can't see that? That's what you do in your first 50 days to start fighting for the rights of pedophiles? It's because he is one. It's a nasty dog. And we must be nastier because we voted for him. Black folk need to repent. Black church folks, black church hasn't been doing shit for decades. Now, now you got the Gay Equality Act. Now, the greatest hope that I have at this moment, if I have any damn hope, is that the Democrats fail to get 10 white Republican senators to support the Gay Equality Act. Because if they support Chuck Schumer, who's a deviant, there are pictures of him with black children. And it doesn't look, it looks sexual. I am conservative. I think Rush Limbaugh's a pedo. I do. Why else are you going to the Dominican Republic with Viagra and drugs? Mm-mm. I don't care who's conservative, don't like me. Go to hell. You don't mess with black children. You don't mess over black women. I am nobody's tough guy. Probably all of y'all listening can beat me up, but I'm sorry, I take a stand. You can't mess over our women. I don't even want you to mess over pork chop feminists. However, if they run out and get hooked up with somebody and they beat their ass, or they get dogged out like the woman that's messed with the white football player who beat her ass, and there's no Me Too Calvary come to save her ass. That's how it goes. It beats like that. Karma's a bitch, sell out black women. Karma's a bitch, sell out black dudes that just have to go dumpster diving for every white floozy that nobody white and male wants. Then they go to court. Yes, she could look like a black eyed peas vomited out of a dog's behind. She'll beat your ass in court and get all your money. I think a lot of Negroes just want to play sports and get famous so they can have a white woman take all their damn money away. I think some black simps are so stupid, but you know, I got some white coochie. Can you imagine running into some black pro sports player, homeless? Man, I got white coochie, man. I'm all right. I got a little bit of fire here. I mean, And no, I'm not trashing interracial marriages. I'm not. I see. I don't really do that. It's not like nothing I can do about my ancestry. I'm descended from a white slave trader. I can't. What can I do? Damn. What can I do, y'all? We can't help what we come from. But I'm black, proud, Christian and proud, American and proud, and straight black pride too. Um, absolutely. We got to stop all this. So look, um, again, you want to see a book of really beautiful clothes and black women at our peak. We were in our peak in the 60s and 70s. You want to see something that's really nice, easy to read. You got little girls. You want to get a coffee table book? Get this one. It's incredible. It's nice. Black women are beautiful. They're worth fighting for, worth dying for, worth killing to protect. I said that, and I'm a nonviolent person, but I'm not going to be nonviolent if someone bothers my mother. And whichever woman I end up marrying, it's got to happen at some point. I'm not dying by myself. Uh, and as long as there's Cialis and Viagra, I know between that and the good Lord and some other herbs and stuff you can get from Africa, I'll make it. I know that I can make it. I'm not going to do that with that gospel song. Something else. I'm working on an article. I will be denouncing the congressional black circus via um, the no good, prophetic, um, sellout pinata coon, Benny Thompson of Mississippi. He looks like something that kids will beat on to get candy to fall out, okay, in Mexico. And the NAACP, those niggas who are after Donald Trump using the Enforcement Acts, aka the Ku Klux Klan Acts of 1870, 1871, against Donald Trump. Now, them going after Donald Trump, in a way, it's their business. But what I'm pissed about and what I want everybody to do, don't take my word for it. Although I think maybe I can go on. Can I get a? Oh no, no, my pad don't got no juice, and I got one of these cheap Mac uh, mini iPads. Look, did you guys know that in 1870 and 1871 there are federal laws on the books to protect black people from racist police and racial terrorism? That is a law. It's called the Enforcement Act or the Ku Klux Klan Acts. Those laws are still good. Those laws were used to go after the people that killed Heather Heyer in Charlottesville, Virginia. They're still going after people using the Ku Klux Klan Act. So that means every time a black child or black man or woman is murdered or tased or abused by the police, federal laws already exist on the books where they can go after entire police departments to protect the lives and property of black Americans. Do you know that the Urban League, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the National Asshole Network, the CBC, People United to Save Humanity, and everybody else that's black on the government, civil society, civil rights side, they have never, ever attempted to use the Ku Klux Klan Act to defend or to get justice for the people in Katrina, Ferguson, Baltimore, Flint, Tulsa, Knoxville, East St. Louis, Palestine, Texas. Tens of thousands of black people have been murdered. High ranking members of the NAACP have been murdered. Harry and Harrietta Moore, blown up Christmas Day 1951. State leaders of the Florida NAACP. Did they use the Ku Klux Klan Act for them? No. Martin Luther King shot April 4th, 1968. He was a member of the NAACP. Did they use the Enforcement Acts, Ku Klux Klan Acts? No. Medgar Evers, head of the Mississippi chapter of the NAACP, shot down in 1963. Did they use the Ku Klux Klan Act? No. Andre Jones, son of the president of the Mississippi chapter of the NAACP, lynched in a prison cell in 1994. Did they use the Ku Klux Klan Act for my associate whose son was hung in Mississippi? No. Did they use the Ku Klux Klan Act to look into what really happened with Dylan Roth when he massacred black people in Emmanuel Church? No. Did they use the Ku Klux Klan Act to investigate over 1,000 black churches burned in the 1990s? No. Did they investigate and use the Ku Klux Klan Act for Captain Burge, who was torturing black men, electrocuting them through the testicles with a car battery? thousands of black men in Chicago. Did they use the Ku Klux Klan Act? No. In Boston, when the police terrorized black people over this Matthew Stewart murdering his wife at Brigham's Women's Hospital, and they terrorized the black community of Boston for a month, did they call the oldest chapter in the country is in Boston? Did the NAACP do it? No. Did they do it for Trayvon Martin? No. Did they do it for Eric Garner? No. They did do it for Sandra Bland? No. Did they do it for Ahmaud Arbery? No. Did they do it for Breonna Taylor? No. I can run down thousands of names, and these motherfuckers have never used this Ku Klux Klan Act to save one black life in this country. And they've collected hundreds of millions of dollars in the name of being concerned about black people. They're all frauds, scammers, and they're liars. And here's the thing that's got me pissed off, people. The NAACP, NAN, and the CDC and other people, these folks all are against gun ownership, and they all actively work in their own way to do gun buybacks in black areas only. So the NAACP and the Congressional Black Circus are going to attack Donald Trump, who is loved by millions of people, millions of them armed, and a lot of them don't like black people. And they're the face of the attack on Donald Trump. I said to you earlier, I can recall someone trying to get into a fight with my brother over Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's baseball record. If you understand anything about racism, my brother's not Babe Ruth. No, I never saw him. I hadn't heard about him in years till he died from the COVID shot he got. I don't even follow baseball. When these people get angry, like they swarm the Capitol, they're not rational and they come ready. They will hurt black people who have nothing to do with politics. And we're unarmed. We're not organized or mobilized or united. We're sitting ducks for mass killings and mass murders. Who are you going to call? The police who were infiltrated by the Klan and the Nazis and the racial terrorists that your fucking Barack Obama refused to clean up law enforcement in the country. Yeah, so this is Biden and Obama and them refused to investigate the fact that their own Department of Homeland Security said that our police forces are full of white terrorists. Right now, if you're not watching the news, the United States military, even pedophile Joe Biden himself, said that racial hate groups are using the army and the military to train to be able to cause mass death. Who do you think they're going to kill? The NAACP, and I have this on personal first-hand account, that Medgar Evers asked the NAACP for protection, for bodyguards, so he wouldn't be murdered in Jackson, Mississippi in 1963. Or 62, whichever year, one or the other. My dear movement auntie read the letter. The NAACP refused to protect the life of Medgar Evers, although they raised millions off of him being shot dead. See, these people, and the NAACP is not a black organization, these people pimp our death, our suffering is a cash machine, an ATM for the boule. And they'll get us all killed. These same boule people support abortion. The same boule people in Congress voted for mass incarceration. Yes, they did. The CBC supported the Biden crime bill. Clyburn got Biden the votes necessary for it to clear the House. Now you see why they trust his ugly black ball headed ass. Coon busters. We're in danger. Every day I see a new black face that's attacking Republicans that are loyal or close to Trump. What do they not get? If these folks would attack the Capitol with their bare hands, what would they do if they had brought their guns? I want to tell everybody quickie. By the way, here's a good one. The NAACP and other people were protesting racism in Greensboro, North Carolina, I think in 1979. The Ku Klux Klan, in front of television cameras, came and shot and killed 5 people. 5. Do you know that they didn't use that Ku Klux Klan Act, even with the stuff on television? The NAACP didn't help. I can go better. The Ku Klux Klan, there's a group called, it was called ROWP, ROWP. It stands for the Rights of White People. They were an armed paramilitary group that was killing and shooting black people down in Wilmington, North Carolina. NAACP leadership was surrounding the church where people were shooting into the church at black people. All of them were thrown in jail. Did the NAACP use the Ku Klux Klan Act to get Ben Chavis and other people's asses out of jail? Did they raise money? I know because my god brother was very much involved. I know because one of my mentors raised the money to bail Ben Chavis out. These people sell wolf tickets, they create fires, they scream fire in the theater of racial America, and we get trampled. I'm going to be writing an article. I'm going to send it out. And I think I got to, this way, I got to try to take the time to put my own um, website. Okay, brothers and sisters, uh, thank you, Real Dana. I got to get with Ron Hurd. I'm going to get back with y'all in 1 second. So, be in touch. Send me a piece. Um, Actually, y'all just hold on. What, you know what? No, I'm gonna stop all this. I'm gonna put this back on. Okay, bye. Bye.